In this, independent variable is known as a treatment, and treatment is pranayama practice, and dependent variable is happiness in this hypothetical example. But simultaneously with independent variable, different variables play a vital role. In my example, in the previous slide, I have given daily routine, food habits, lifestyle. These are known as confounding variables. And these confounding variables are subdivided into two categories. Intervening variables. These are beyond the control of investigator. We cannot control. These will be considered as a limitation of the study. ये अध्ययन की सीमाएं कहलाएंगी. इनको नियंत्रित नहीं किया जा सकता. मान लीजिए, let's discuss with an example that there will be different effects of pranayama practice if we practice in rainy season, in winter season, in summer season. तो आप इसको इंद्रदेव को आदेश तो दे नहीं सकते 5 दिन बारिश मत करना. That will be considered as intervening variables. Next one is extraneous variable. To a great extent, investigator can control. काफी हद तक कोई भी अनुसंधान करता इस पर नियंत्रण पा सकता है. डेली रूटीन है आपके हाथ में. You have control on that. Food habits, yes, you can have control on that. So these are the examples. So we should keep in our mind, since I am going to discuss the practical application of this title, I will demonstrate by using two designs. Same study can be conducted by using different designs and by using different statistical tools. I am going to show only two by the help of a statistical tool. So next part is appropriate design and statistical tool to conduct experimental studies. किसी भी प्रायोगिक अध्ययन को आयोजित करने के लिए एक प्रॉपर शोध अभिकल्प क्या होगा और एक प्रॉपर सांख्यिकी तकनीक क्या होगी जिसके माध्यम से हम आंकड़ों का विश्लेषण कर पाएं. तो शुरू करते हैं. Same experiment can be conducted by adopting different designs and statistical tools. I am repeating again and again. Maybe by single group design. Please, again I repeat, our today's title is Effect of Pranayama Practice on Happiness. Independent variable is Pranayama Practice. Dependent variable is happiness. Please keep this in mind. This same study, if any investigator wants to find out the effect of any treatment on any variable, the study may be conducted by using single group design, maybe random group design. This random group design is known by different names in different literatures. In few literatures, you will find pre-test, post-test control group design. So I am going to show these two designs, how you can conduct your studies. See, and by adopting more designs, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं केवल 2 शोध अभिकल्पों की चर्चा आप सबके समक्ष कर रहा हूं. तो शोध अभिकल्प तो एक प्रायोगिक अभिकल्पों की तो लंबी सूची, इससे अच्छे भी डिजाइन है. लेकिन my intention is to clear the concept कि how to conduct experimental studies in the field of yoga. Let's start with the first single group design. See, O1, X and O2. Let's discuss one by one. O1 means observation, means pre-test. Our title is Effect of Pranayama Practice on Happiness. First we have to take O1, observation 1. Observation 1 means pre-test. Then X1, X means treatment. In this hypothetical example, X is pranayama. Then we have to take the second observation, observation 2. That will be considered as post-test. Now, by using a proper statistical tools, we have to find out the significant difference between the pre and post by applying the technique, a proper technique. I will discuss about that also. This is known as single group design. See, raw scores are here. See the raw scores, how to collect data. So this study is conducted on 20 subjects. See in the black color box. Next one is, there are 2 observations. 2 observations are in the blue color. That is pre and post. See, there are 20 pre-test scores. After collecting the data of pre-test scores, we have to give the treatment of pranayama practice. After that, we have to collect the data of post-test. That is 20 post-test scores. Now, statistical tool. Which statistical tool will be applied if you want to conduct this study? We have to apply independent t-test, Swatantra t-parikshan. This independent t-test is known by different names in different literatures. Independent t-test, simple t-test, student t-test, including unpaired t-test. So we should not be confused about that कि same सांख्यिकी तकनीक अलग-अलग पुस्तकों में अलग-अलग नामों से दर्शाई गई है, तो हमें शंकित नहीं होना चाहिए. लेकिन प्रश्न देखिए, main question arises. What was the principle? On the basis of that, we have to conduct the study. Maximization of treatment variance and minimization of error variance. Is this principle fulfilled? No. There is no control on confounding variables. There is no control on extraneous variables. There is no control on intervening variables. It means if you conduct your study by using this design, your paper will not be published in the top journals of the world, indexed in Scopus, indexed in PubMed, indexed in Medline, indexed in, there is on a standardized database. किसी भी स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड डेटाबेस में यदि इंडेक्स किसी शोध पत्रिका में अपना शोध पत्र प्रकाशित करना चाहते हैं तो इस डिजाइन से और इस सांख्यिकी तकनीक से के आधार पर कोई शोध कार्य करेंगे वो प्रकाशित होने की संभावना ना के बराबर रहेगी. इट मींस द प्रिंसिपल इज नॉट फुलफिल्ड. सिद्धांत क्या था? मैक्सिमाइजेशन ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट वेरिएंस एंड मिनिमाइजेशन ऑफ एरर वेरिएंस. अगर इसको केवल विद इन ए मिनट आई एम गोइंग टू शो द हाउ द एनालिसिस इज डन. आई एम कॉपिंग ऑल दीज स्कोर्स. इन सभी स्कोर्स को मैं कॉपी कर रहा हूं. कॉपी करने के बाद आई एम गोइंग टू पेस्ट इन SPSS, जो भी दुनिया भर के सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं, दुनिया भर के सॉफ्टवेयर्स. आई एम गोइंग टू शो बाय यूजिंग दिस ऑप्शन इज प्रेजेंट इन माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल ऑल्सो. देखिए, ध्यान दीजिए. आई एम गोइंग टू पेस्ट दीज स्कोर्स इन SPS. दिस विल नॉट बी अलाउड. कई बार हम बीच में कहीं रुकते हैं तो लगता है कि हम नहीं कर पाएंगे. दिस इज नॉट अलाउड. It means if we copy our scores from PowerPoint presentation, we cannot paste on SPSS. It means first we have to paste at Excel. I am going to Excel. I am going to open the Excel file. I am going to paste these scores. How many scores are there? 40. 20 belongs to pre-test. 20 belongs to post-test. I am going to paste these scores in this. Okay, I have pasted these scores. Now from here I am copying these scores, and now I am going to paste on SPSS. Then this will accept this. This will accept this. Which technique we are applying? Independent t-test. We are applying independent t-test. First thing, we have to enter all the scores in the single column. अब ये कंप्यूटर अंतर्यामी तो है नहीं. We have to define. For example, 1 stands for male. Sorry, 1 stands for pre-test. No, sorry. There is no need. We have to apply dependent t-test instead of that. Again, I am removing these scores. I am going to paste these scores. I am copying these scores again. Going to paste these scores. Now go to variable view. In this there is a pre-test. In the second one there is a post-test. Please correct one thing. We have to apply dependent t-test instead of, in hurry I have prepared this presentation. So we have to apply dependent t-test instead of independent t-test. Analyze, compare means, paired sample t-test, and make a pair. Click on OK. The result will be in front of you. You conducted your score on 40 scores, pre 20 scores, post 20 scores. It means in this hypothetical example, t value is 1.36. There is no significant effect of, in this hypothetical example, there is no significant effect of pranayama practice on happiness. तो ये हमने बात की एक की डिजाइन की. बस एक ही करेक्शन है. अगेन आई रिपीट अबाउट द करेक्शन. Instead of independent t-test, we have to apply dependent t-test. This dependent t-test is also known by 4 different names. Correlated t-test, paired t-test, repeated measure t-test. Now, remaining part, the last part of my presentation. It means this design, which design we have used? Single group design. Which statistical tool we applied? Dependent t-test. It means this design is ill-designed. It means principle is not fulfilled. Maximization of treatment variance and minimization of error variance. Next part. Analysis we have done. Next is which design is best design. For that, we have to understand about the early experiment. प्रायोगिक अध्ययन कोई आज के दिन तो हुए नहीं है. प्रायोगिक अध्ययन तो दुनिया भर के पहले एक अगर ऐतिहासिक एक दृष्टिकोण से देखें तो this has a history. So this is based on the earlier assumptions of the experimental research. We have an evidence of 1872. There was a law of single variable. This concept is given by John Stuart Mill. in the words of John Stuart Mill, if two situations are alike in respect, if one element is added to one, not to another, if the difference exists, that is due to added element or subtracted element. It means due to this reason we have two groups, one experimental group and control group. There are two groups. Due to the law of single variable, we included control group. Why? By this design, the principle of maximization of treatment variance and minimization of error variance will be fulfilled. See, there are two groups, experiment control. O1 means pre-test of experimental group. X means treatment, means pranayama practice. O2 means post-test of experimental group. O3 means pre-test of control group. C means control, no treatment is given. And last is O4. O4 is post-test of control group. This is the design. By taking this design is the best design to conduct experimental studies. Why? Principle of maximization of treatment variance and minimization of error variance is fulfilled. Raw scores is there. How many subjects are there? The study was conducted, this study is being conducted on 40 subjects, 20 in experimental group and 20 in control group. See, in the blue color, there are two groups. That is experimental group and control group, and 4 observations, pre-post, pre-post. And there are 20 pre-test scores of the experimental, 20 post-test scores of the experimental, 20 pre-test scores of the control, and 20 post-test scores of the control group. So this is the structure. This is the example of row scores. Now, statistical tool. Which statistical tool will be applied if we conduct our study, if we conduct our experiment by using this design, by using this hypothetical study? The technique is known as ANCOVA, analysis of covariance. Again, I repeat, if we are using random group design, if we are using pre-test, post-test control group design, in that case, we have to use the statistical tool to analyze data that is known as analysis of covariance. Is the principle is fulfilled? Yes. This design, this statistical tool fulfill the principles of maximization of treatment variance and minimization of error variance. Now the last part of my presentation, I am going to copy these scores. Sankshipt mein jaan lijiye how to analyze. I am going to copy these scores by using ANCOVA ke madhyam se, by using the same software. I am deleting these without savings. These are the previous ones. Now this will not be accepted in the separate next sheet. I am going to paste. There are 4 columns: pre-experimental, post-experimental, pre-control, post-control. It means from here I am going to copy in the SPSS sheet. I am going to copy. I am removing these. I am clearing these. I am going to paste these. How many columns? It means we have to enter all the scores into only 2 columns. It means pre-test in the single column and post-test in the single column. This is the pre. I am cutting these. Paste. I am cutting these. Going to paste in the next. It means in the first column all the pre-test scores are there. In the next column all post-test scores are there. And in the third column we have to define the group. How many groups we have? 2. दोनों ही कॉलम्स में पहले 20-20 स्कोर एक्सपेरिमेंटल ग्रुप के हैं. तो आई एम गोइंग टू गिव द नेम ऑफ one stands for experimental group and 2 stands for control group. We have to analyze our data in this way. Now data entry is complete. Go to variable view. In the first column we have pre. In the second column, दूसरे कॉलम में क्या है? दूसरे कॉलम में क्या है? पोस्ट. यस, पोस्ट. तीसरे कॉलम में क्या है? ग्रुप्स है. We have to define the groups. We have to define in the one stands for. क्या माना है आपने one? No. One stands for experimental. Pre. All pre are in the first column. We are talking about the third column. Third column, we have given the name groups. How many groups we are having? 2. One means experimental. 2 means control. Add. Okay. You may write down the commands. Go to analyze. Go to general linear model. Univariate. Bring